You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you notice
my health the first year? I went so crazy.
You're watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hey Joey, how you doing?
Pretty good, Mike.
Great to have you here. I've been up since 1 o'clock in the morning, so I had to take Kate to the airport this morning, so I might be a little bit slow, right?
It's all good.
But listen, welcome to Freedom, Health and Lifestyle. And of course, this is personal development with a business plan. And this is episode 139, the price you have to pay. Why success demands sacrifice. And this is going to be an interesting one because we've touched on, and I know you have, over the last 2 episodes, Joey, you've touched on the price that you have to pay. And I did 2 little shorts there and put them up. And it's just interesting, like that price, you're going to pay it whether you like it or not. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to get into a little bit of that. I've got a video here that I think we'll enjoy, Jim Rohn. But again, look, this show's all about thinking and doing better and being better. Because we want better. We want more of something, whether it's more time, more money, more finances, more houses in Joey's case. I don't know, right? Whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Like we all want something. And but look, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click that notification button. And of course, you'll learn when we're on, usually around about the same time every week. And let me welcome my good friend, Joey, the $1 Million Difference Maker, Maka Unga. Say hi, Joey.
Hey, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Joye Maka Unga here from Sydney, Australia. This is one of the wonderful hour that I looking forward to at the end of the week for me, preparing for a new week tomorrow. It's always remind me, my calling, my purpose in life. And when I found it that I need to serve more people, and there's a lot of way you can serve in this world. But thanks for the social media that we are able to create a platform and also a program every week that we can come together as a community and we share our stories, share our experience, share the books that we read, and also the mentors and the leadership group that we have that allow us to moving forward in life. And if you are watching this, we just want to welcome you, each and every one of you, because we appreciate you. We love having you on our program. And if you can learn something out from any episode, from number 1 to 139, we just want you to pay it forward. Share with someone, share with your loved ones, or recommend it to other people that they are looking for, because we believe a lot of people in this world are looking for some solution. And maybe the books that we read or the video that we share might help them to move forward in life, or might help them to look up a little bit better. So, Mike, I'm looking forward for our podcast tonight, 139. Amazing.
Yeah, no, me too. And don't forget, you can find Joey here on his Facebook page, Joye.unga. And of course, here you can find out more information about Joey. Joey's got an upcoming event coming up real soon on May 2nd.
We just finished it, Mike, yesterday.
Oh my God, how did it go? I want to hear all about it. I put it on the live stream.
It's all on my feed. All the video I uploaded up there.
There it is.
That's me.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm excited. You look amazing. You look great. Look at this. I'm so sorry I missed that.
We're going up, it's our moment. You're gonna get it, we're
Looking good,
going.
Joe.
Gonna be golden. Up, with our voices. Gonna get you so often. Gonna be
Amazing.
golden. I'm done hiding now. I'm shining like a butterfly. Our time, no fears, no lies. That's who we're born to be. Wait a second.
Well done, Joey. I'm going to watch that later. I'm gonna watch all of that later.
Yeah, there's a couple of video there. So
Yeah.
I make
Yeah,
it part
I
1,
love
part
it.
2, part 3, part 4.
love
So
it.
it's a short video, but
That's brilliant. Well, listen, look, you can find out what Joey's doing. You can find out more here. If you go to his business page, this is what the event was tied to, was this Joey's Isogenics online health and wellness business. And of course, you can go here. Let me put the link up there so you can see it. Go to joyeunga1.isogenics.com/en-au. The links are in the description. So go and check Joey out here. You can find out what he's doing and how you can get involved with Joey if you want. And of course, the best way to do that is to scroll to the bottom of this page, fill out a contact form. All you need is your name, your email, contact telephone number, best time to call and submit. And I'm sure Joey will reach out and get in touch. Now listen, I'll be honest with you, if it's not right for you, Joey will be the first person to tell you that it's not right for you, right? But listen, go and check it out. And look, if you want to find me, you can find me on my academy website, petsofthesisland.com/academy. And this is where we're helping people set up their own businesses. And of course, in the pet space, best thing about it is you get to keep every penny that you earn. And we love what we do because it really does make a difference, helping people feel better about something that makes them feel bad. But Joey and I are passionate about that. And that's really what life is about. For me, anyway, certainly it's about helping people feel better about something that makes you feel bad. And let me see, why is that not loading now? Did I get rid of that? Oh, hold on, I need to change my view. That's why. Yeah, so you can find me here on the Academy website, petsofthesisland.com/academy. Do I have a link here? Yeah, I do. But yeah, you can find me there. And again, you know, that business is all about helping people get set up in their own business, get to keep every penny that you earn. It's the beautiful thing about it for me. But again, it's built on service, just like Joey's business is built on service. And it's about helping people feel better about something that makes them feel bad. And obviously, this is that better that we talk about. We all want better. And service is the key for me. Service, you know, a good friend of ours, Joey, would often say, head a king. She talk about shining in your service to others. And I think that's an important thing to remember, you know, to try and help as many people as you can. And as they grow, you know, there's a knock-on effect for you, I think, you know. But anyway, right, let me get rid of this. Okay, right, we're going to watch this video. It's a Jim Rohn video. Now, it's 8 minutes long. Now, I might pause it half the way through. But it gets, you know, we're talking about this price that you have to pay, Joey, right? And I've been thinking about this a lot. And trying to understand some of the reasons why you're happy to pay the price for some things. For, you know, why I'm happy to pay the price and just sit in my comfort zone, be comfortable there. You know, like I've done well. I do all right. You know, I make plenty of money. You know, I was talking to someone the other day, and I don't say this to be boastful or anything else like this, but you know, if my circumstances changed, I'd probably be okay for a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? You know, now not everybody's like that. Not everybody has that luxury. And I don't think I really have that luxury either, because I don't think I'd be able to sit still for a couple of years, to tell you the truth. Do you know what I mean? But like, you know, like I think why am I not prepared to pay the price to get to the next step? I am prepared to pay it, you know. But like, what holds you back? What stops you? Is it a lack of a decision? But look, let's watch this video, and then we'll get your thoughts, right? Because I'm curious. I'm always curious as to how you think about things, Joe.
Lost my health the first year. I went so crazy about personal development and achievement. I just went bonkers. You know, I told you I was skinny. By the end of that first year, I was a walking shadow. And then it suddenly occurred to me, what if I got rich and too ill to spend it? I mean, that was a shocker. So I started, you know, developing a little more reasonable. Because I said, if 12 hours won't do it, I'll work 14. If that won't do it, I'll work 18. I mean, how many hours it takes. And sure enough, it cost me too much. So see, working longer and harder for some might be appropriate. You know, if you're just sitting around not doing that much, this might be good, work longer and harder. But you can only work so hard. Here's the key, not to work harder, but smarter. When you've worked as hard as you can, doing the best you can in terms of physical output in the time, reasonable time. Now here's the ultimate in the management of time, and that is you simply become more skillful. When I first got into sales, you know, I was around people that could get, you know, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And when I first started, I could only get 1 out of 10. But here's what I did. I worked around the clock, so that I would make up in numbers what I lacked in skill. That's good in sales. You got to jot that down. When you're new, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. Now, when you become more skillful, the numbers can go down because now your persuasive ability and all of that is now so high that you don't need to put as many numbers out. But at first, if you want to compete or if you want to really get good, you've got to put in the numbers. But if you get more from yourself, develop more of yourself, now the time management becomes an easier task. Now here's the next thing. Either you run the project or it runs you. I've found out when you start something, at first you're in charge. All of a sudden, a year later, it's in charge. Some of the companies I started, I'm telling you, I'm in control. A couple of years later, I'm out of control. At first, I've got it on the run. 2 years later, it's got me on the run. Haven't got enough time. I'm dizzy with trying to get it all done. So here's part of the key, and that's to get in charge. Say, I'm going to take charge of my health. One of my albums is entitled, Take Charge of Your Life. Take charge of your time. Take charge of your resources, which we're going to talk about next. Take charge of your health. You're the one that's responsible for it. It's not a requirement of society that you not have a heart attack and take care of your family. That's not a requirement of society, but you must make it a requirement of yourself. Society doesn't require that you build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. That's not a requirement of society. It's a requirement you impose on yourself to build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. So impose on yourself this self-development of being in charge, taking charge of your life and your health and your future and your responsibilities and all the rest. Next, reasonable time is enough time to achieve all of your goals. Just jot that down. Reasonable time is enough time.
All right, Joe, let's just have a quick conversation about what we've listened to so far, and then we'll get back to it. So I actually know what he's talking about, where he's talking about, it's in charge of you and you've got to get in charge, and maybe, maybe you've experienced that too in your businesses. But I know maybe you don't, I'm reading between the lines here when I'm listening to him, because if you're not in charge of your life, right, if you're not in charge of your health, and it doesn't matter, maybe someone wants to lose 20 pounds, and maybe they've been trying for the last 10 years to lose 20 pounds. Do you know what I mean? Why is it that they're not taking charge of themselves? Why are they not prepared to make the sacrifices that they need to make the different choices that they need to make? Instead of having pizza every night, maybe you've got to have salad a couple of nights. Instead of, driving everywhere, maybe you're going to walk places. Do you know what I mean? What stops people from taking charge? That self-development. Is it the people that they hang around with? What is it? What is it? Their daily habits, their daily rituals? What is it?
Yeah, in my personal journey, in my opinion, is because the people haven't worked it out or value enough the work is worth it. And for example, I still remember, funny, I shared my story yesterday with our company and our community at the event yesterday. And I still remember, at part of my health, I was overweight. I didn't have enough sleep. I didn't eat well. I was trying to just put food into my body as I go, grab fast food just for quick snack or quick bite before I changed from one job to another job. And I still remember vividly when I bent over to tie my shoelace, my stomach has pushed again my lungs and I was struggle to breathe. And I said to myself, that's part of it. It's part of the journey. And I get to a point that I was hospitalized because of my ignorance. And then I realized if I didn't have to change or take full responsibility of my health, I won't be here to share my story. And I think when the worth of doing something in life is not worthy enough for that person, they just ignore. I think a lot of times, a lot of people think that we still have time, and I think the brain. I think one of the main thing that the brain is not strong enough for them to realize they have to do something in life. And because the pain, they can still handle the pain, whether you lost a little bit, a couple of $100 on your first starter kit. And that's why a lot of people quit in our professional, because it's easy come and easy gone. The pain is not pain enough. I think you can relate to this. You spend a fair bit to start your business, and you have to make the commitment and the discipline to show up, open a shop, and promote, do the work to get the return of investment, because it's a big investment. But for people that in our professional, in our business model, in our network marketing, whether it's company to company, it doesn't matter. but the pain is not strong enough for them to realize I got to do something. You know, I got to change something. I gotta pick up my act or pick up my ass and you know do the right thing and show up and do the work because it's all worth it. A lot of successful people in the world, they were not born rich, you know, but they have a strong pain enough for them to take full responsibility of their financial or of health and it's happened to me too, with my health one. And as I get to a lowest point of my journey, that's the painful moment. Imagine if something happened to me and I didn't make it. Who's gonna look after my family? Who's gonna pay the bill? Who's gonna pay off my portfolio, my property portfolio? I started, and who's going? Am I selfish to leave it to another person to suffer? I started something, and that's I think I applied that same philosophy in my journey. Whatever I do in life, if I started, and I tell my team, people coming in and falling off, and some people I give them the starter kits because I want them to give them something to start in life. But because they still don't have the pain enough of no income for a long time and because they still have a full-time job, and I develop myself to understand instead of reacting and kind of like thinking that these people are not appreciate my gift or my heart of reaching out to them to give them a kickstart in life. I know, and it's exactly what Jim Rohn used to say in some of his seminar. It's one of those things. People will come and go. People will actually do something to change something, and some people just happy to stay where they are. Because the pain is not strong enough. I can use the metaphor of a nail. Someone step on a nail. If they put or some people say they put as soon they feel the pain, they don't want to go through it to get to the other one. You don't know, do you know what I mean? They just they feel a little bit of the pain and they say, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And,
Joe,
and,
I
and that's
remember.
what.
Do you know? And some of this is psychological, Joey. Right? I remember years ago, right? And look, like a lot of people, my weight goes up and down, yo-yo dieting and stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? Go up and go down, go up and go down. And you're constantly making these decisions, usually based on, oh, I'm going on holiday next year. Do you know what I mean? I want to lose a bit of weight, or I'm going to a family event, where everybody's going to be. I want to lose a little bit of weight next year. Do you know what I mean? For Christmas, because I'm going to see everybody. Or I've got, my cousin's getting married, right? Okay, try my suit on, it's a little bit tight, right? I want to lose a little bit of weight. Do you know what I mean? So I've got this goal, I've got this vision. But I remember years ago, right? We'd moved to Ireland. So where am I going? Right, 1999, 2000. Joined the gym, and I say, right, I'm going to get myself in the best shape of my life, right? I mean it. I'm serious. I'm committed to it. And I went to the gym and got myself a personal trainer. And this personal trainer put me through my paces. And he put me through my paces so much that I could barely move for the next 2 or 3 days. I'm serious. And my body then, from that moment on, saw the gym and my mind, and it's me saying it. It was like, shall I go to the gym? Oh God, no, that was fucking painful. That was painful. You know what I mean? I don't want to go there. Yeah. Instead of putting me on like a little learning curve, do you know what I mean? And instead, like he drilled me. Now, I wasn't joining the army. Do you know what I mean? I had a goal, but I didn't need to meet my goal today. The workout that I was doing that day, I should have been doing 12 weeks from today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should have been more for me. This is just my opinion. It should have been about welcome to the community. Here, let's get you started. Let's see where you're at, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Not let's fucking try and kill you today. You know what I mean? I never went back. I carried on paying for it for about a year, but I didn't go back. I think I chose the wrong gym. I chose maybe an elite gym where everybody in there was like, yeah, super buff, do you know what I mean, and everything else. And then, so in my mind, my vision, my mind saw the gym as a place that equaled pain, not pleasure. It equaled pain. So I never wanted to go back, right? So when I think about even isogenics, and I think about the community, and it's more about the community, where you're associating with a group of like-minded people who are all on a journey together. Some are further down the road than others, but at the same time, they're all working towards a cause, and that cause is better health, better happiness, and better wealth. And that's what Bob Proctor talks about. Personal development is a big part of it. Do you know what I mean? How the mind works is a big part of it. Mindset is a big part of it. So, and I think sometimes when we go to make change, we jump in at the deep end, and we don't have the tools and the aids and the life rafts and the people that can help us. Do you know what I mean? And it's painful. Instead of being able to get in at the shallow end and have someone who can mentor you and teach you how things work and how they can work for you. So, I think that's why sometimes we don't pay the price. When Jim Rohn was talking about being able to get better, he was talking about hard work beats talent, right? He's saying, look, you can have talented people, they're getting 9 out of 10 people. They talk to 10 people, 9 of them join them and everything else. He's saying he couldn't do that. He'd have to speak to 100 people to get 10. Do you know what I mean? So he was dedicated and committed and willing to do the work. And then he talked about working smarter. So as he's learning, as he's developing, his skills are improving, and now he doesn't have to put in the time. And it's funny because, in most things when you start out down here, and your finances, are low down here. And then over time, as your development grows, your finances goes up. Well, in what he's talking about, right, okay, my effort and everything started up here, my finances were down here. But as I worked on myself, my effort actually came down. I didn't have to work as much, and my income kind of crossed over and went up. So it is about having to put in the work, but you've got to be willing to pay that price. You're putting in a lot of effort at the beginning. You don't know that much. It was the same in my business, Joey. When we started our business, right? We went out, we were doing flyers and everything else. Got a brand new mobile phone dedicated to this business that we'd started. Never started a business like this before. Didn't even know what we were doing. We were making it up as we were going along. We had no one to mentor us, no one to teach us. We were pulling it together ourselves. And, we were doing flyers. It was about 9:30 in the morning, and, Kate was like, I don't want to do any more. So, come on, we'll go to McDonald's. So I promised her that if she came with me, we'd go to McDonald's, right? So we went for McDonald's. We're sitting there just about to take a bite out of my McDonald's, and the phone rings. And I'm like, oh my God, the phone's ringing. And I passed it to Kate and said, you answer it. And she threw it back across the table and said, no, you answer it. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. So we had thought about all the things that we were going to do. Yeah, we're going to get a new mobile phone. We're going to get some flyers printed up. We get the copy on it. We'll put them out and everything else. But we hadn't got as far as to think about, well, what happens if someone rings? Do you know what I mean? And so we let it go to voicemail. Do you know what I mean? And and then we rang them back. We were working it out as we go along. But that's the price that you have to pay. You have to learn. You have to learn. And learning comes from failure. That was a complete failure. Well, it wasn't, because it worked. It showed that if we put flyers out, something, people would call. Even if we don't know how the call's going to go, we knew that we could generate leads. So it was a win, but we learned where we were failing. We learned how to get better. We learned where to get better, and that's for me what it's about. It's about paying that price. Like in the early years, Joey, when I started my business, fucking hell, I would be driving all over the country. I would never, my philosophy was, and still is today, we never say no. Never. If someone rings us up, like if I'm in Ireland, if we got an inquiry from Sydney, Australia, and someone said, can you come and look after our pets? My answer is yes. That's my answer all the time. And then we'll figure out how we're going to do it. Right? And that's the purpose of this new book. That's the purpose of this new business that we're doing. That's the purpose of the new academy, the Academy of Excellence, where we can set up people in Australia, where we can set up people so that we can continue that philosophy of being able to say yes to people, because it is about service. But again, It's about paying the price. It's about you've got to be willing to pay the price. Like, what am I putting on the line for this? I'm putting on my credibility. I could lose fucking everything. Do you know what I mean? Doing this.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't care because I can build it back. I don't have a
yeah,
problem with that. Oh, you've got to be
yeah,
prepared to lose it. You know, what are people going to say? People are going to say, oh, Mick's biting off more than he can chew it. It's not the first time I've done that. I do that a lot, actually. You know,
yeah,
so I don't have a problem with that. You know, so I'm putting my credibility on the line, I'm putting everything on the line to do this, and that's the price that I have to pay. But it's the same. You know, what did you put on the line? You put your life on the line. You know, like when you just decide to join the army, you put your life on the line. There's a price that you have to pay. And not only do
absolutely.
you have to pay it, but your family have to pay it emotionally.
Mm,
Everybody has to pay that price. You
yeah,
know, sometimes, you know, if and I had done this for years previously in my youth. You know, get up, go to work, come home. The only thing I want to do is watch television. Get up the next morning, go to work, come home. You know, have a bottle of wine with Kate, watch television. Maybe tomorrow night there's going to be sport at the weekend. Maybe go out for a few drinks on a Friday night. Did it for years, week after week after week after week. The price I was paying was lack. The price I was paying was settling for what I've got
mm,
and not wanting more.
mm,
Because why? Because I thought I'd made it. I had a
yeah,
good job. I had a BMW parked on the drive.
mm,
You know, I bought a nice house. You know, like I thought I'd made it. So I was in a comfort zone,
mm,
you know? And then you get into that comfort zone and then you're afraid to lose it.
yeah, yeah,
I'm afraid. And I was afraid,
mm,
you know? So what do? I dumb down my personality. I just want to blend in, just want to fit in, don't want to cause any trouble anywhere. Just
yeah,
want to get on with everybody
mm,
instead of being me,
yeah,
instead of pushing on, driving on, you know?
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
you can waste years of your life doing that, Joey.
mm,
Years.
mm,
Yeah. So there is a price you have to pay, and you're going to pay it whether you like it or not. And you're either going to pay it and get everything you want out of life, or you're going to pay it and you're going to go to the grave with all these dreams that never materialized. You
yeah.
know?
And I like how Jim Rohn mentioned on the video at the beginning. He was working, you know, in the sales, and some people were get 9 out of 10, you
Mm.
know, and he was getting 1 of 10. But then he realized it take time and take effort to gain those skill to be master on everything. You know,
Yeah.
we got to be bad at something before we become a master, become
True.
good. And
Joe,
it's, you know, and
yeah.
when you get that understanding, you know, you just stay focused on your goals and the decision you make, because you know I'm gonna be bad before I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
And to be good, you have to pay the price of
It's
being
true.
bad, of being embarrassing, of being objecting, you know, of being saying no. People say
Yeah.
no to you. You
Yes.
know, I used to come, you know, when I think I say a story, you know, I have a big family, and when I first introduced to the network marketing, my mind already traveled. Oh my God, I got 11 siblings. After this call, I'm going to reach out to each and every one of them and get them in the business, because this is a great business. This is someone in my family that can enter in low cost entry and build a successful business. And
Yeah.
what if we build it together as a family? They win, I win, they win, I win.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? And because I didn't work on myself first to understand me, to grow me, and to make me a bulletproof, I just ran out and been ignorance in fire and tell everyone. And I thought that's the right things. And because
Yeah.
I didn't, my mentor, my sponsor didn't, you know, properly inform me or on board me properly. He just said, let's go and make money. And I
Yeah.
just thought, you know, I'm gonna tell everyone. So I
Yeah.
ring each and every one. And you know, the first rejection was okay, I'm still excited. Second rejection, from family members, still okay, but I feel like a little bit rattled. And then the third one, I start to question: am I into this thing for the right reason, or I picked the wrong career, a
Yeah.
wrong profession, or wrong business? But I used to come home and cry, and I was driving in the car, and I said to myself, God, what happened to me? He's my sibling. He's the people I support, and financially, and emotionally and spiritually. No one want to come on board with me or help me or just
Yeah.
support my business. And I used to cry about it, but then I learned it's good to be cry about it and have a wins, but don't take it like a days or
Yeah.
just
I
a
mean,
few hours and then get over and get back on the road and just keep going, because that's the price you have to pay.
I just wrote down here, you've got to detach yourself from the outcome. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
When you're making those calls.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
remember in the first network marketing business, one of the first network marketing businesses was in similar situation to you. Our sponsor was around the other side of the world. We didn't really have any connection with them. We had no idea what we were doing. And we really didn't. And we were doing everything that we thought we should be doing: posters, flyers, business cards. And if you do those things, they still work. They do.
Yeah.
But I can literally tell you the data on this, because we did so much of it. If you're going to do flyers, it could be different today. I doubt it, but you have to put out 400 flyers before you get one phone call, just a phone call, and you don't even know what that person's going to say when they ring up. So 400 flyers will give you one phone call, and we used to do the train stations, because you can do flyers in cars really, really quick and all that kind of stuff. They kind of they don't really work that well in train stations. But we used to leave them in public restrooms and all this kind of stuff, and they work. But we didn't really know what we were doing, and it wasn't until we started to actually educate ourselves. And I got a book by Kim Klaver called "If My Product's So Great, How Come I Can't Sell It?" And I read this book, and on a Saturday afternoon, I wrote this little script based on what it said in the book. And I actually sat down on a Saturday afternoon with the phone book on and I just started dialing the numbers, right? And I rang 30 numbers. I got 30 no's, right? I had to make about 50 calls, and about 30 people picked up and answered my call, and I got 30 no's, right? And then on my next call, I got a yes, right? And the yes was to come in to set up an appointment. I set up an appointment to go and meet them on the Monday to present my products, right, in their house. And I came off the phone, and I thought, and I knew then, if I can get one, I can get 100, right?
Yeah.
So on Monday morning, I sat down at the phone, 9 o'clock, and my goal was to get, 5 yeses a day. And in the end, like we got this good at it that we got no's down to 20 no. For every 20 no's, you get a 1 yes. So we focus on getting 100 no's a day, right, on the phone.
Wow.
5 appointments for the next 48 hours, and we became so good then in the home at presenting the products that one would be a no-show, one would cancel, and one would buy. Every day. Literally every day. And we brought those skills into this business, right? So we're at the stage now where for every inquiry that we get, we close 2.2 out of 3. So for every 3 people we speak, 2 people become customers.
Wow.
But that's over nearly 2 decades of paying the price, of learning, of building your skill. And it's not about showing off. It's about knowing how to talk, knowing how to communicate with someone, knowing where to meet them at their need, knowing when they're ready. There's so many people that we speak to and I always say, look, I think that we're the right company for everybody, but maybe we're not right for you right now. And if that's how it is, that's how it is. Like you have to be ready too. Yeah. And when you are, we'll be here. And they're like, well, I'm kind of here now. I need it now. Yeah, but you're not ready now. You're saying that you want it, but you don't really want it. Because you can tell by their words, by their emotions, by their tone. Yes. They're nervous, they're scared. Like you have to be ready to pay that price, Joey. You have to be ready to pay it. Now, I wasn't always ready to pay the price. I've already admitted that I wasn't always ready to pay the price. Like later today, Manchester United are playing Liverpool. Now, I could be doing some other things, but I think I'm probably going to watch that match. right? It's a big
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Miami GP. I would love to watch the Miami GP,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking maybe I could. But I could also be doing something else. I could be working on me. I could be working on my Pet Care Entrepreneur Academy. I could be working on that. I could be working on trying to put together the infrastructure for that. Do you know what? This is one of the things that pisses me off, Joe. I'm serious about this.
Mm.
Part of the price, right, is sometimes being patient, right? It's just
True.
being patient. And
True.
right
True.
now,
So
with
true.
this project that I'm working on, I have to be patient because I'm waiting on a few other people,
Mm.
and I don't want to be like a bull in a china shop. So I have to be patient. And that allows me then to practice being patient. And that's something that I learned a long time ago, to
Yeah.
practice being patient. So I think that's the price that you have to pay. Like, because I could go in there and I could like just tear this thing up and say, right, okay, we're going in a different direction, but that's not what I want to do. I
Yeah.
know the direction I want to go in, but I have to wait, and I have to be patient and take some time for these things to come to me as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes, what is it? Softly, softly catch the monkey. Sometimes you can't just go and grab everything. You can't just go charging in there and just grab it, because then it's gonna want to fight back. I don't want this thing to fight back. I want this thing to say, I'm in, baby, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
True.
So, and that's why, when you're talking about, your family and everything else like this, the lesson there is, hold on a second, you probably should have been patient instead of running out and telling them all that kind of stuff. Be patient, work on yourself, practice on maybe some people that you don't know first, build your skill level. And when you get a little bit of success over there, your family's going to say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, maybe we want
Yeah.
a little piece of that, because, they might see you with a new pair of shoes or new clothes, or, new this or that. They see it on your social media. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Why didn't you tell us about it? Now
Yeah.
they're coming to you about it. But these are lessons that you've learned. These are skills that you've learned. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter what somebody else thinks. Do you know what I mean? It's what you think at the end of the day. But the price is, like I say, you're either going to pay this price, you're going to pay it regardless. Even if you do it, you're going to pay it. If you don't do it, you're paying a price. You're paying
Yeah.
it. Fucking hell. You have to choose, don't you? You get to choose the price you want to pay. Yeah, you do. I think you do. You can stop anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
This is screwed up, Joey.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about the price you have to pay. It reminds me of I think I got it from The Secret, the strangest secret. Every night you get a quote from, I think it's Newton third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Correct. Yeah.
So whatever things we decided to do in life, there will be an opposite, reaction for it. And like you said, we have to make the decision which price we have to pay. Whether it's a financial or with our health or our relationship, and if we have the right intention, to do things in life, and the reason behind what we want to accomplish something in life, I think there's a more strong desire to go through the pain to gain something in life. And I think Mike Tyson was a good example of no pain, no gain. Put it in hard work and reaping the reward. And they have to go through. I watch some of his training. Wake up early in the morning, maybe 500 sit up, push up, pull up, running, come back, breakfast, rest, and spa. And I wonder why the price for them to get is so high, because of the sacrifice and the price they have to pay,
To be the
to
best.
end it.
Yeah, but it's to be the best, right?
Mm.
And like, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to beat the best,
Mm.
right? So if you can study those people, to be honest, like if you can study the likes of your Eric Worre's, you know, and these other successful network marketers, or if you can study these Warren Buffett's, you know, in stocks and things like this, or if you can study these, you know, other great entrepreneurs like Eric, what's his name, Bezos from Amazon,
Yes. Yeah. Peso.
Rich, yeah, and of course, then who's the other one? Virgin, what's his name, Richard Branson, yeah, and there's many others. You know, you
Yeah.
can study those people who would be considered the best, you
Elon
know,
Musk.
yeah, and then copy them, see where you can do things, you know, differently or better from them, you
Yeah.
know, like, but then you've got to be consistent. That is going to take, you can't just read Richard Branson's book and say, oh, I'm going to do that, and then not
Correct.
do
Yeah.
anything. You know,
Yeah.
you talked a minute ago, you talked about having a reason, and then you talked about intention. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God, well, what is it, you know, what is it that you want to do? This is the fundamental question. What is it that you want? Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let's do that then. You know, and
Yeah.
even if it's something as simple as someone wanting to lose 20 pounds, what is it that you want? I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you currently do? What can we change it to? How can we change it to make your outcome better? It's simple.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, well, I won't eat. We can't do that. You got to eat. So what can we
Yeah.
replace that with? How can we do something different? You know, how
Yes.
would you, you know, like, in fact, even before you get to that stage, you know, what is it you want? I want to lose 20 pounds. How would you look and feel, you know, if you lost 20 pounds? Oh, well, I'd feel amazing. You know, what kind of clothes would you wear? You know, would you have different clothes than the clothes that you wear now? Oh yeah, they'd be like this and they'd be like that. Yeah, and how would you feel if you went on vacation? You know, knowing you know you're 20 pounds lighter. You've gone on vacation. How do you look and feel? Oh, I'd feel amazing. How does it feel lying by the pool? Oh my God, it feels amazing. I don't feel so body conscious or whatever else. You know, you've got to build that vision. That vision that you know that person has to live it in their mind. I heard something really interesting the other day, Joey. Really interesting, and it smacked me in the face like a you know like a wet fish, right? And the guy said, he said, when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, you have to pretend that you're sleeping. Fucking hell. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, before you become a millionaire, you have to pretend you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
Before you own 100, 1,000 properties or 1,000 units, you have to pretend like you own 1,000 units.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
before you own this beautiful, you know, 10-bedroom mansion with, you know, 15 guest bedrooms and, you know, 25,000 toilets and bathrooms in it, you have to pretend that you're living there. You know? And it was that simple. You know, before, you know, when you go to bed to go to sleep, before you go to sleep, you have to pretend that you're sleeping. And you do. You do. You just don't go to bed and just go to sleep. You go to bed and then you lie down and you close your eyes. The intention, the pretend to be sleeping.
Yeah.
And then you're asleep.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? And it just hit me. And I thought, I've got no more excuses now. You know, all I need to do is pretend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And Bob Proctor talks about that. That's what he talks about in that video.
Act,
You know?
talk,
Yeah.
walk.
It's mad. It's mad. It's so silly. It gets even simpler every week.
And I really like how you reminded, you know, if you study successful people, and I learned this from Eric Worre. He read Elon Musk, you know, Jeff Bezos' autobiography, you know, about the story behind the success. And the light bulb moment for Eric Worre is a very successful coach in mentor in network marketing. He said, every time I look up to those people and read their story, I know I'm still playing small, you know, because for those people to be in the elite level of successful they have, these people have make a decision they're gonna pay the highest price, no matter what. It will take time, effort, and investment. They will do it until they success. And everywhere Worre used to admit, Cause I'm still playing small. I'm still looking for the easy price to pay. And it's happened with a lot of students. Like, we just want the small package. And I think in our professional, we realized that, when someone, I want to do the business, okay, which starter pack you want? They were looking for the smallest one to do
Yeah.
because they haven't developed their self or their mindset to the level. But Proctor said, if your goal is up there, what do you have to do? Your frequency have to be there, to be the same, to match with that goal. And I think it's the same concept. That's why a lot of people hold back or procrastinate in chasing after their goals because they haven't prepare or make the committed decision. I'm going to pay the price.
Yeah.
And it's and we witnessed this in our professional and your business. It's same with everything.
To be honest, Joe, it's really interesting. And, like myself and my wife, Kate, we had some decisions to make over the since January. What month are we in now? May. Since January last year. No, that's not right. Since maybe October last year, right? And yeah, October, November. And in November, there was a price that we had to pay. I'm talking about a physical price, right? And we needed some information, some documentation, and everything else. It was going to cost a certain amount of money. And I'd say, and it wasn't really something that I was bothered about, but Kate was bothered about it. And I said, well, look, just pay it, and then we'll get everything that we need, and we don't even have to think about it. And Kate was furious about having to pay this, where she would not pay it. No, fucking no way. I'm not paying it. Not fucking paying it. No way. We should try and find it ourselves and everything else. Kate went off. She's trying to find this information. She's getting more and more frustrated, angry. Do you know what I mean? Can't find it. I'm like, well, I'm thinking I want to try and stay back from this a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm going to get dragged into this. And she's going, fuck it, why can't we just get this information ourselves? I'm like, well, maybe we can, but why don't you just pay it and we'll have it, and then when we're done with it, we'll move on. And she's like, fuck that, no way. She's like furious. I mean, she's so mad about it. Now, that pain of paying that price at that moment wasn't strong enough. Do you know what I mean? Now, at the end of last month, Kate had come to the conclusion that, fuck it, we're just going to have to pay the price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And then we got all the things that we needed, and now we've just moved on. Now by not being prepared to pay that price, stopped us from planning for at least 6 to 8 months. Stopped our plans in their tracks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we had a plan, but because we weren't prepared to pay this price, our plan got put on hold. And I think that sometimes happens to a lot of people, where they're just not prepared to pay the price. And that price sometimes is a financial price.
Yep.
Now, you can get the cost. To be honest, if it's about making more money, there are ways of making more money. Joey can fucking talk to you about that. I can talk to you about that. So you can always make more money. But if it's information that you need to buy, there's a price that you have to pay for that expertise. You have to buy it. Otherwise, you're going to put your plans on hold. Like that, by doing that, we have probably saved us. Well, we should have saved ourselves 6 to 8 months by doing it originally, but we didn't, because we still ended up having to pay it. But what did we lose? We lost time that we're never going to get back, ever. And the opportunities that came and went in that same time frame, we're never going to get the opportunity for them again. So you got to know what it is that you want, and then when you decide what you want, you got to just be willing to pay the price. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you had the opportunity to sit down with someone who could impart wisdom on you or knowledge on you that you could then take and use, to create and earn money and help other people do the same, why would you not go and sit down with that person and pay to go and sit down with that person? You would. You do it, Joey. You do it when you go into your, for your portfolio work.
Yep.
In fact, to be honest, there was a whole bunch of people there yesterday on the 2nd. I'm so sorry I'm not in Sydney now. I would have loved to have been out there. There's so many people who came to sit down at that event to see you and other people. They want to pay the price. They want to pay the admission. Do you know what I mean? To see and to learn from people who are winning.
Yes.
Nah, I'm not gonna, I was listening to Jim Rohn when he said, how much did your TV cost? And the guy said 450 quid. He said, why? He said, I probably think it's probably cost you more like about 12,000 a year. Because that's what it's cost you, in earnings.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting in front of it.
Yes. It's so true.
Anyway, fuck it. And listen, right. We're going to get your final thoughts, Joey, right? Because I'm so interested in what you have to say. And I want to hear more about, what happened yesterday as well, because you had a price to pay, leading up to that.
Yeah.
So, let's get Joey's final thoughts on episode 139, the price you have to pay and why success demands sacrifice. And of course, you're going to hear from my good friend, Joey, the $1 Million Difference Maker, Maka Unga. You can find him on facebook.com/joey.unga. Go and find out more about him. But Joey, take it away.
Thanks, Mike. So happy and so grateful to get the last word of today in our program today. I hope that the message we share tonight will encourage you, will uplifting you, will empower you to go out there and really, really have a clear mind. What do you really want in life? And Mike McKillen has nailed it, has given me the introduction, the platform to just remind you the wise word of Bob Proctor. If you're watching this, if you follow us, what do you really want in life? And if you already know what you really want in life, you got to be prepared to pay the price. And the price can be in the form of financial, could be an investment of your time, effort, and maybe to learn and get a new information, get a mentor, get a coach, to get you move closer to where you want to go in life. Because for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. No pain, no gain. You got to give to receive. And it's very important that we have that clear concept of understanding that successful people in life, they're just like us, only have 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 ears, 2 hands, 2 legs, but they make a decision that they're going to pay the price. And no matter what their friends have told them or tell them or critiqued them, they quit listen to it. And I think the last video we're going to watch it's all in there. When you make a committed decision what you really want in life, and you understand that you have to pay the price, whether it's financially or emotionally or spiritually or mentally, you got to discipline yourself to make that committed decision to go through it. And yesterday, Michael was sharing my story from the States, and what I want to people to get out from my story is, if I didn't pay the price, I won't on that chair, on that stage, to share my story yesterday. But because I prepared to change my health, to change my mindset, and change who I am, because I want to become a better father, a better husband, a better leader, a better role model to my kids. And I pay the price. I have to be better. I have to read books. I have to invest in some program. I have to invest in some mentor to guide me, so I can learn from their mistake and they can learn from their experience. It cost me money, cost me time, but that's the price I understand I have to pay. And if I didn't understand and go through paying the price, show up every day, no matter what happened, my people, my team have been dropped off, or a lot of them don't do any work. It's okay. They don't have to pay the price that I have to pay. But if they want to achieve the reward that I achieve, they have to pay their own price so they can achieve what they really want in life. So for every promise, there is a price to pay. For every reward in life, there is a price to pay. And it's totally up to you. Yesterday, they asked me a question to share what is your final message to the people. And if you're watching this episode, there's two things you can do. One, you're gonna do nothing. Two, you're gonna act and work on the decision that you make today to change your life. Understand that you have to pay the price, and it's happened to me. Whatever happened to me, it's happened to Mike, and it's gonna be happen to you. And we say that from experience because we both in a professional and entrepreneur that we give solution to people. We help people see how they can solve their problems. And we know to solve the problems, someone has to pay the price. And is a sign of responsibility for someone they really want to achieve success in life when they take full responsibility and tell themselves, this is what I really want in life. But here is the thing. I have to give something to earn something. I have to pay something to receive something. And this is the same thing that we want to pass it on to you tonight. Hey, we're gonna be bad before we can be better. And we're gonna be miserable before we become happy and enjoy the success that we have. But that's part of life. Either you like it or not, it is what it is. But it's a sign of maturity, and when you take full responsibility and tell yourself, I command, and you go through and you follow through. And that's what we call, from the wisdom of Bob Proctor, discipline mean. You tell yourself a command and you follow through. Remember, every success in life have to pay the price. Every reward in life has to be pay the price. And even if from the good book, someone has to pay the price to save the world. And that's one of the greatest sacrifice that someone can do, is to lay their life, and that's to pay the ultimate price to give their life so that other can be saved. Hey, Mike, I want to stop there because I'm very grateful for the opportunity, for our community, for the people that follow us, learning from our experience, and also the people that we learn from, to realize and understand the price you have to pay and why successful people that we see in our daily life, they're just like people like us, but they make a committed decision and understand, for things to change, I have to change. For things to getting better, I have to getting better. And in that process, they have to pay the price. They have to do the work. They have to show up when no one's turning up, when no one, not believing them. They just understand the concept. To gain, you have to go through the pain, to gain some, and to receive something in life, you gotta give something.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Joey, you're so right. You're so right. And you're a great example, for me, to watch you, and your growth and your success and your commitment to what you're doing. And, truly the reward does come after you do the work. And that work starts by working on yourself. I can only imagine what it must be like, lying in a hospital bed after working yourself into a position like that, with good intentions, but bad decisions,
Yeah. Mm.
because your intentions were for looking after your family, for creating legacy, for creating wealth, but you didn't have the right mentors and the right teachers around you, you know, and, you know, bad habits, eating on the run, things like this, you know, and then to wake up, find yourself sitting in a hospital bed, lying in a hospital bed, you know, with wires plugged in on your chest and shit like this, you know, and you can see from that picture, you know, when I look at that picture, I don't know how it makes you feel, but, you know, I can almost see a disgust in your face. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know,
Yeah.
maybe because you're thinking, please don't take a fucking picture of me. Fucking, you know?
I'm glad it did.
Yeah, yeah, you know. But then to look at it and you think, but you can see in that moment, like, it's like, no, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's when you know, you started to work harder, work smarter,
Mm.
you know, change, you know, habits, and, you know, change yourself from the inside out,
Mm.
you know. And I agree with you, Joey. You
Mm.
know, like, I don't think that I'm any better than anybody else. I don't think that
Yeah.
I'm any smarter than anybody else. But I would agree that you and I are prepared to do things that other people aren't prepared to do. But
Yeah.
everybody's capable of them.
Yeah.
It just takes making that decision,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And
Absolutely.
sometimes, like in your case, it has to get bad enough. Joey, I was in a financial situation years ago, and I mean, I was so broke. Kate and I were laughing about it the other night. We were laughing
Mm.
about it,
Mm.
right? So you can laugh about this shit, you know, in the end.
Mm.
And you know, we were so broke. I just left construction, and I was at the pinnacle. And this is when I was like everybody else, and I was like everybody else. You know, like when I left construction, 3 months, and I was broke. I mean, broke, gone, nothing. I had nothing. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't pay for
Mm.
anything, couldn't do anything, didn't know what I was going to do. And I remember, you know, the government wanted to get involved. They wanted to basically bankrupt me, take everything off me, and let me pay them back, like, you know, or let them give me pocket money every week. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah.
I remember Kate and I went to this meeting, and I came out of there, and Kate was so upset, and that was probably the lowest part of my life, the lowest point in my life that was, you know. And it was in that moment, after coming out of that meeting, I made a decision. No, I'm not fucking having this. I'm not living like this. And over the next 6 months, I don't know how we did it, but you know, we started something. We started a network marketing company. After 6 months, we paid back more than 40 grand in debt in six
Mm.
months.
Mm.
And we'd saved over 20 grand in the bank. How the fuck do you do that? From
Mm.
making a
Mm.
decision. I wasn't
Yeah.
special, you know. I didn't even know what I wanted, but I
Yeah.
knew what I didn't want. And I never
Mm.
wanted that again, ever. You
Mm.
know. So, you know, we all have those moments. And just because you're there doesn't mean that you can't, like I always say, look, you can work your way out of anything. You
Mm.
can. You know, you really can, but
Mm.
you have to want it.
Yeah.
You have to, you know, like I was so disgusted with where I was, and it reminds me of that picture of you
Mm.
being so disgusted of where you are. Do you know what I mean? I was there, Joey.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't in that bed, but
Mm.
emotionally, I was
Yeah.
there. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been where you've been. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
We've experienced it. And there's
Yeah.
thousands of other people out there who are going through that now, who are feeling that now, and maybe don't know where to turn, don't know where to go. You know, to be honest, look, we're here. You know, like we're here. We're not saying that we're any better or different from you. You
Mm.
know, we're the same as you. You know,
Yeah.
all we want to do is kind of, you know, give you a hand up, not a hand out. You know,
Yeah.
if you want it, you can have it. You just have
Yeah.
to decide. You
Mm.
know, but again, there's a fucking price you have to pay. You don't have to pay me anything, but you got
Yeah.
to do the work.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do the work. The
It's all
reward
worth
comes
it.
after you do the work. Your reward didn't come before you did the work. My reward didn't come before I did the work. It came after.
Yeah.
You know, as
It's
when I,
all worth it.
the more I grow, the more my bank account grows. How is that possible? How does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
You know, and it just means
So
that I
true.
can do more. It just means that, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, Joey,
Mm.
and I was accused of being racist and all kinds of different things. And we we're having a
Wow.
conversation, and they were telling me about my white privilege and all this kind of stuff, right? And I was saying, if I can use my white privilege to help other people, is that not a good thing? And they're like, they can't answer that. But that's all I want to do. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm trying to help people. And it doesn't matter what color I am. It doesn't matter what color somebody else is. It's what's inside.
Yeah.
It's your intention. You know, it's that reason and intention that you talked about, Joey. Like if you've got good reasons and you've got good intentions or great intentions, you know, for serving and helping other people, what difference does it make? It makes a difference for me, and it makes a difference for the people that I'm working with.
Absolutely.
You know? Anyway, you're just getting me fired up now. Fuck you.
I switched the right button. I pushed the right button.
Right, I'm going to play out that video. But to be honest, Joey, I'm passionate about this price you have to pay because there is a price. And the truth is, you're either going to pay it or you're going to pay it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we wasted those 8 months by not being prepared to pay, what did it cost us? It cost us 8 months of time and missed opportunities. That's what it cost us. You know, so we paid regardless. You're going to pay regardless. That time is going to pass regardless. You know, what you do now, if you're prepared to pay that price now, and to be honest, and it's in the moments. It's in the moments. It's not, doesn't matter about next week. It matters about today. It's that moment today. That decision that you make today to pick up the book and you know, read 10 pages. You know, and just expand your mind just that little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's that, you know, that moment today when you decide, do you know what, I'm going to park a little bit further away from the supermarket door entrance and I'm going to walk, you know, an extra 2 or 3 minutes. You know, it's those little decisions, those little moments that can capture momentum.
Yeah.
You know, making you, helping you feel better, think better, you know, be better, do better. You know, those acts of kindness and generosity that you can bring to someone else's, you know, day to make them smile. You know, anything that you can do, you know, to serve and help somebody else, you know, can only go to serving you and helping you. Now, I'm not talking about giving away all your stuff. You don't need to do that. But you can still be generous with your time. You can still be generous with your emotions. You can still be generous with your smiles. Costs nothing to smile. I smile at everybody.
True.
It's not, you know. So you know, it's these little things that you can do to build you, to build your self-esteem, to build your confidence. You know, to make you feel better. And when you start to feel better, you know, you're going to start acting better. You know, what is it? You know, your thoughts control your feelings control your outcomes, and your outcome control your results. If you've got shit results, well, then you're just shit inside. The way that you think is shit. You know, I can't fucking change it. I can't help you with that. Only you can do that. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it because it's on you.
Yeah.
You know, we're just here to guide and support and to point a direction for you. You know, so you have to take the steps. Can't do it for you. You know, no one did it for me. In fact, I had plenty of people like you, Joey, trying to pull me back, trying to stop me from doing it.
Yeah.
You know, but I did it anyway, just like you're doing it, which is the reason why, you know, you're standing on a stage yesterday, because you did it anyway. So proud of you, Joey. I'm so proud of you.
It's funny, Mike. Came back last night. You know, I take my kids to dinner with me, and then when we came back, I stay up until 1 o'clock because we have another call, and I reach out to my team and, you know, reminding them there's a training, and you know, I understand, you know, that it's the middle of the night, but this is the price I have to pay to be the best and I want, you know. And they, you know, they reach out to me and they graduate me, you know, they for being in the state. They were not there, but, you know, and they kind of like wishing that they will be there. But I said to myself, but there's a price. There's a price you have to pay. You know, if I didn't make the decision to pay those price, to stay up and, you know, keep showing up, I won't be able to be recognized by the company to be on that stage. You know, because you have to pay the price to prove yourself and to become bulletproof that you're gonna do this. And like you said, before you go to sleep, just pretend you sleep. And that's what we do, Mike.
I love
You know,
it.
we are,
And you
you know,
like
you
that.
know, we pretend every day that we are already successful. And because we learned it from Bob, you know, and Bob planted seed in us, and no matter where we're going, we know we already have it in our mind. And it's only a matter of time. And, you know, and going back to your sharing, patience is very important, because when God gave you open the door, He will flooding you with everything that you know, that you were dream about it and wanted a long time ago, because He knew you were ready to receive that abundance and prosperity.
No, I'm being tested at the moment, Joe. I'm being tested. I know I am. I know I am. I know I am. So, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay
Yeah.
with it because I know, because in my mind it's already done and it's coming
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, and I have to be patient. You know, I have to wait. I don't have to wait forever because I'm never going to do that. But I can't rush at the same time. You know, I learned a long time ago. You want more speed, less haste. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
You know,
mm.
so I don't want to be hasty,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I need to be patient. You know.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I love that. Well, I loved it when I heard that the other day. It just made so much sense to me. You know, practice. You go to sleep, practicing to go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
pretending
yeah.
to go to sleep. Do you know
Mm,
what I mean? Like,
mm.
it makes so much sense. All right, listen, you have been watching episode 139, Freedom, Health, and Lifestyle. You have to pay the price. The price you have to pay. Why success demands sacrifice, and it does. It does. It takes sacrifice, time, commitment. You know, moments for sure. But it's trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. Like if all you did next week was sacrifice an hour of watching television to read a book, pick up the Magic of Thinking Big, Think and Grow Rich. In fact, one of Joey's favorite books, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yep.
That's a great book. You
Mm,
know, so but not a romance novel. No, we don't want a romance novel. Not fantasy fiction. Something that's going to stretch your mind. A really short book. Richest Man in Babylon. These are about finance. Those two last ones. The Science of Getting Rich. That's an amazing book. If you want to understand it. I'm not talking. These are books that can actually give you ideas or help you nurture your own ideas. Because
mm.
reach out to Joey. I'll give you some advice. Reach out to me. I have a book list that I can give you. Do you know what I mean? These are
Yeah.
just books that, if that's the only sacrifice that you can make, now if you sacrifice it, if it's about health and wellness, reach out to Joey. Get in touch with Joey and say, hey, listen, look, I love your story about you lying in bed being disgusted with yourself. I feel that way about myself. I want to do something too. I'm going on holiday next year, and I'm getting married or whatever it is. Don't care what the excuse is. Reach out,
Yeah.
and Joey can help you. He can guide you, show you what he did and how it's worked for him. Maybe it can work for you too. I'm not saying it is, but just do something. Don't do nothing. I know nothing is doing something. Did you not hear
Yes.
me talking about how we did nothing for fucking 8 months and I had to pay the price anyway, but I just lost 8 months and all the opportunities that went with it? Don't do what I did. This isn't, sometimes it's about learning from other people. What do you call it? Other people's experiences, Joey? Like learn from our experiences. We can teach you what doesn't fucking work as well as what does, or at least show you the way. Right. We're going to go out with our favorite video. My favorite video, anyway. I love this video because everything is in it. Even if your sacrifice was to watch this morning and evening, and in fact, even better, commit to watching a video like this every morning when you get up, every night before you go to bed. Think about your goals. Write down your goals. Get a goal card. I want to lose 20 pounds. I've lost 20 pounds by this day. In 30 days from now, whatever it is. But reach out to Joey. Joey can show you the ropes. Joey knows what to do. He's already done it. Have you not seen him in his, with his shirt off nowadays? Fucking show off. Anyway, right. Out of here. See you next week.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. that conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.